Welcome to Chiapas, to Jalisco. I'll be your host, Fray Sombrero. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Guachimontones shirt. For the next, who knows how many hours, maybe one, maybe more, maybe less, I'm going to be taking you with me on the journey that I went through for the past 2 weeks in Mexico. I hope you enjoy this presentation of Fray Sombrero, and let's get to it. So I made it to the hotel. Officially made it. It's a simple room, but it'll do for the time that I'm going to be here. Bathroom's in here. Exactly what I need. So, let's go out and take a look at the town. Around 3 p.m. I arrived in San Cristobal de las Casas, where I will spend the next 3 days. I was extremely tired from the flights and layover, but I wanted to walk around the town before I went to bed and start the adventure the next day. It's extremely cold and it's very high, and normally Chiapas is a very hot place to be in, but I was very excited to start the adventure the next day. One of the first things I saw when I arrived to San Cristobal de las Casas was a church at the very top of a bunch of stairs. I decided, well, I'll give it a go, see if I still have the stamina to get up there. Here we go. These are pretty heavy. Oh, crap. Wow. What a view. After making it down from that church, I met an American expat named Robin who decided to play his accordion for me. He lives there in the winters and the winters only.
9 weeks apart.
You look amazing, Robin. Let's see what you got. Robin, that was awesome. You're the man, Robin. I gave Robin 5 pesos and made my way across the busy streets to admire its amazing downtown church. The sunset did not disappoint in this specific location. After walking around for a couple hours, I went back to my hotel and I got some rest because the adventure was about to start the next day, and it was El Cañón del Sumidero, Mexico's very own Grand Canyon. The national park was an hour and a half away from San Cristobal de las Casas. Once getting there, you get an amazing view of the canyon before being taken down for the boat ride. The canyon's creation was around the same time as Arizona's famous Grand Canyon. Walls reach about 3,300 feet, and you get a nice view of the river where I'll be going through on a boat later that afternoon. The national park has about 3 or 4 stops where you can get great views of the canyon, with the main one being the last one at the very top. It was finally on our way to the boat ride, where we will encounter alligators and monkeys and other exotic creatures. I was very excited for this part of the trip, so here we go. What you see is the Bryce Vale. Not a lot of water right now, but when it rains or after the rain, that pours a lot. Oh, see, that's nice. That's nice. Hey, what's up? What is up? Welcome to the Christmas tree, where they say if you drink the water from here, you'll be 5 years younger. So I give it a go.
Okay.
Whoa! I feel younger already. Gonna get young again. We also found a cave that has a Virgin Mary inside of it. We decided to check it out. And finally, the alligators. Just chilling there in the hot sun. Relaxing vacation. There you go. Legend has it, if anyone falls off the boat, these guys will give you a hand back on. Just before ending the trip on the boat, you get to witness Chiapas' coat of arms, right at the end of the boat ride. Incredible. On this cliff, 7,000 indigenous men, women, and children jumped to their death to avoid being taken over by the Spanish. It's a sad and harsh reality of how mankind can be cruel to one another. The boat ride ended in the town of Chiapa de Corzo, which is known for its famous kiosk downtown. And boy, is it a thing of beauty. A place to relax on a Sunday afternoon. After Chiapa de Corzo, I headed back to San Cristobal de las Casas to check out other parts of the town I didn't see. So after walking around the town for a little bit, I went back to the hotel, got my rest. The next day, I headed down to El Chiflón and El Velo de la Novia, which is the Bryce Vale, but a bigger version of it. And after that, we headed over to the lakes known as Lagos de Montebello. And there's about 59 lakes in this area. They're all blue and they're all beautiful. And it's right at the border between Mexico and Guatemala. So check it out. The El Chiflón waterfall is about 2.5 hours away from San Cristobal, and the lake's about another hour and 45 minutes, which means it was going to be about 3.5 hours to 4 hours to get back to San Cristobal after this. But it's well worth the trip. The view from the van towards the El Chiflon waterfall was breathtaking as we were about to arrive. There is a bit of a hike before reaching the Velo de la Novia, but some small waterfalls on the way to check out. Normally the water here is blue, but because of the rain causing the mud to flow into the water, it gives it sometimes a brown color, but right now it's between brown and blue, so it's greenish because it rained the night before. But when it's blue, it's beautiful. My phone and my glasses were soaked, and I was going blind, so I had to shoot real quick and then move on. And there she is, El Chiflon, the bride's veil, all 328 feet of it, falling down. Water greenish, but still beautiful, though I wish it were blue. But breathtaking. Holy fuck! Happy birthday to me indeed. By the way, this day was my birthday, so it was a real pleasure and honor to spend it with the bride herself. It was finally time to head down to the lagoons, Lagunas de Montebello, another hour 45 minutes from where we were. It'll be nice to spend some time here in an area that's a mixture of jungle and forest. I've never seen or heard anything about it, but I was anxious to learn. Right in the middle of the lake sits a little island known as La Isla de las Orquídeas, or the Orchids Island, where they have over 100 types of orchids on there. One specific one that I saw was one where in the middle of it, it looked like it had a praying nun on it. I was excited to go on there on the little boat. Though it looks like it's gonna sink, it won't. And we're off. Flash! Oh, okay. Boat rides fetch around 100 pesos to 300 pesos, which obviously, if you pay the 300 pesos, you get to see more. You get to check out a cenote, and obviously another island in the area. We're heading back. The couple that was with me on the boat was from London. The woman was from Mexico City, but the boyfriend was from Germany, and we decided to share a boat. We made it to our final lake, La Trinitaria, right on the border of Guatemala. So I decided to go step foot into another nation while I was there, and a beautiful view of the lake. What more could you ask for, right? I finally made it to Guatemala. Not like I was planning to go, and as you see here, it's the lake that divides Mexico from Guatemala. So we have Guatemala on this side, and Mexico right there. I'm literally standing in Guatemala and in Mexico. The line that you see in the middle of the lake is what separates Mexico from Guatemala, with Guatemala being on the left and Mexico on the right. And yes, there is no border wall. For those of you idiots that say there's a border wall between Mexico and Central America, you're full of shit. It's wide open, baby. Okay, so after 3 to 4 hours on the bus back to San Cristobal, I got some rest, but I woke up at like 3 or 4 in the morning because it was time to head down to Palenque. This was my final night in San Cristobal, and it involved a lot of curves, which causes people to get nausea. It wasn't a fun ride, but it was necessary to get to where I wanted to go. And as on the way to Palenque, we stopped by Agua Azul, or Blue Water, which is a bunch of little waterfalls which are blue when it's not raining. And at the end of that tour, we ended up seeing my favorite waterfall, which is Misolha. What I enjoyed about this waterfall specifically is that you can go behind it into a little cave, which I didn't go into the cave, but I did go behind it. And by far, for me, this was a lot better than El Chiflon. As beautiful as Velo de la Novia is, for me, this was my personal favorite waterfall, and you'll see why. Welcome to Agua Azul, where the water is normally blue, except on this day. It was a little greenish, but still beautiful, on my way to the panoramic view. You're actually allowed to swim in these waters. The only problem is we were only here for about an hour and a half, and it didn't give me enough time to enjoy the area. So I just decided to walk around, shoot, and enjoy the scenery. It was really nice. I wish I could have gone in, but just not plenty of time to do it. Enjoy the view. Holy crap. Well, supposedly it's called Agua Azul, which means blue water, but it's not blue today. Nevertheless, still impressive. What's up? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Misolha. Enjoy the view. Holy Christ. Welcome to Misolha, definitely my favorite waterfall. It is 114 feet, and yes, you can swim in it, which I didn't do, but I enjoyed the back part of it. Welcome to Misolha. This thing is literally something out of Lord of the Rings. Amazing. The walkway to the back part of the waterfall can be slippery and dangerous, so watch out. Man. son. Like right behind the waterfall. God damn it. That's sick right there. Look, yeah, hi everyone, we're underneath the waterfall now. There's more over here, but I'm not even going to bother going over there. I didn't bring any clothes, but this is absolutely superb. Cascada Misolhol, something like that. Breathtaking. It was time to check out the main attraction of the day, which could have been Misolha, but it was actually the Mayan ruins of Palenque. These are now officially probably my favorite Mayan ruins, and you're about to see why. The entrance to when you see the first ruins is amazing. Very hot, very humid, lots of bugs, but beautiful to be in. So, here we go. I give to you Palenque. Oh my goodness. These are my very first archaeological ruins I've seen in 2 years. The last ones I saw, the Giza pyramids. Oh my god. Welcome to Palenque. The Mayan ruins of Palenque were the first archaeological ruins that I've seen in over 2 years. The last ruins I saw were the Giza pyramids in Egypt. It was really nice to be back in my home country and check out some home ruins, and I enjoyed every minute of it. These Mayan ruins date back from 226 BC to 799 AD. The big temple on the left is known as the Temple of the Inscriptions, and it measures at 72 feet. It's still beautiful, and it's the tallest pyramid in the entire site. It's the one I was more anxious to see, and more excited as well. Boy, was it beautiful to look at. The Mayan ruins of Palenque is also known as the City of Temples. Here's a group of 3 together. One is the Temple of the Sun, which you are seeing right now. And as we move forward, we could see the Temple of the Cross right there. Isn't she pretty? And then the one across is the Temple of the Foliated Cross. It looks like a haunted house. Hey everyone, welcome to Palenque. The first ruins I've seen in 2 years. The last ruins I saw, the Giza pyramids. Due to COVID, nobody could go up on the ruins. In normal times you could, but not right now. We just had to admire them from the bottom, which wasn't too bad at all. You guys hear that? The jaguar. The Mayan ruins of Palenque were the final stop on that day, and it was time to head back to my hotel where I got some rest in Palenque. I'm no longer in San Cristobal. The next day, I was gonna check out 2 new Mayan ruins for me, Yaxchilan and Bonampak. Bonampak's a little smaller, but it's known for its Mayan frescoes and how well they're preserved. So, here we go. The next day, I woke up at 5 a.m. to get picked up by my driver and taken to the boat ride that will take me around the river to the Mayan ruins of Yaxchila. These are actually very underrated. It's actually a really huge site, and you need a boat to get there, and it was really fun. Like El Cañón del Sumidero, you can also encounter some dangerous wildlife here like alligators and snakes, as well as monkeys. Just don't fall off. The boat drops you off, and you're right on the border again between Mexico and Guatemala, with Guatemala being on the left. It was time to go explore this Mayan ruin in the jungle. Welcome to Yaxchila. This place is dead, but it's, which makes it even worth it. You can see here a map. The lake, or the river actually, separates Guatemala from Mexico. And we are right here. Let's go check it out. I was with a family of 4, a couple with their 2 sons, and a French tourist named Sandra, who would be my photographer while I was in Bonampak after this. Let's have a look at the jungle. A friendly reminder when you visit these ruins, or any ruins in general in Latin America, always bring bug repellent. Mosquitoes were all over me. And fortunately for me, the woman, or the man's wife on this trip with me, she lent me some bug repellent. But if it weren't for that, I would be probably drained. The city of Yaxchila thrived between 500 AD and 700. A long time ago, as you can tell. Another thing to look out for in this area are the monkeys. They're known for throwing their feces at people, and right now, one is about to throw a piece of wood at me, as you will see.
Ay, güey. Es un mono.
The sounds you are also about to hear are the sounds of monkeys, not jaguars, but monkeys. It sounds very scary. It's usually, when they make this sound, is when it hasn't rained in a few days and they're thirsty and they're looking for water. But don't be alarmed, they're harmless as long as you stay away from them. You can hear the monkeys in the background. There are a lot of mosquitoes here, and even with bug repellent or whatever you call it, it doesn't do anything. This is the ball court, I guess. This is where they played those games. This park is actually bigger than I thought. You can hear the monkeys in the back still. Again, they usually make that sound when they're thirsty and it hasn't rained. I don't blame them. We're actually getting closer to the monkeys. You're gonna hear their growl getting bigger. Going up to the temple. Oh crap, that was a big climb. All right, we're inside. I went up this big flight of stairs. Oh, but look at everything in here. Wow. So I thought this was going to be the temple with the frescoes, but it's not. But still, ew, I touched it. Still, it's a nice
scenery.
Thinking that was the only temple on the top, I found another flight of stairs going up even higher to the actual Temple of the Bird and the Jaguar. I still had another flight of stairs to go. I really loved this temple, and for me, it was the highlight of the entire archaeological site.
There are monkeys up there. I don't know if you can see it swinging.
And there they were, the poop-throwing little bastards.
Some of these still have the original color.
So there were more, which I didn't know, temples on the site that I didn't get to go see, unfortunately, because I didn't know. That's where it helps to pay for a guide. But after this part, I headed back down to where the boat left us off. And we went back on the road and we headed towards Bonampak, where they have the best preserved Mayan paintings. It's a small park, but it's nice to go see and how well they preserve these paintings. So let's have a look. This is Bonampak, where they have the best preserved Mayan paintings. It thrived from 580 AD to 800 AD. A storm was coming, so we felt a little rushed to check out the paintings. So we hurried up.
Passing a thin rope in their tongue to make blood come out. And yeah.
Oh wow. Their blood clot? Wow.
Amazing.
The view from the top of the temple was amazing. You can see the walkway into the archaeological site, as well as some big blocks where they found some inscriptions. And by the way, the storm was still coming. So after Bonampak, I was going to be the only one in the van taken to the middle of the jungle in a cabin owned by some Mayans, or as they're known as the Lacandon. It rained really hard, but the cabin is really strong. It's small, no electricity. Well, some electricity. I had a fan. It rained really hard, so the next day I went out for a hike with Kevin, my Lacandon guide, who showed me around the jungle and took me to the Lost City. It's a Mayan ruin that the only way to get there is by foot. So, really muddy, really wet, kind of dangerous because of snakes on trees, but well worth it. So, I give to you the Lacandon jungle.
What's up, everyone? I'm about to spend the night in the jungle here in a cabin. So, I want y'all to take a look at where I'm going to stay. And it's very simple. Very simple. Here we go. Room for one. Let's open the door. Very simple. Cabin in the jungle. How about that? What you hear is not rain yet. That is a river. But it's a nice little cabin. I like it. Cool.
The next day at 8 a.m., the hike began with my guide Kevin. 14 years old, but he's already a man at his age. Let the hiking begin.
Walking through the jungle here with my guide, Kevin. Taking a morning hike here. ¿Ese es el Lacandón, dices? ¿La selva Lacandón?
Sí.
In the Lacandon jungle. It's actually pretty cool. It's not as humid as other parts, so
The hike started, Kevin was explaining to me the purpose of every tree, the importance of what it had to the Mayan people back in their time. Some were used to make bags, some were used to make the ball that the Mayans used for the sacrificial games, and others used for medicinal purposes. A very interesting hike indeed. As the time went on, the jungle got darker and darker as we approached the ruins.
Es un árbol criollo de mango. Este es el árbol de mango de la selva. Esto da en marzo y en abril, es cuando hay mucho calor. Las frutas tienen el mismo sabor que al mango, pero son mucho más chiquitas.
As the hike continued, we crossed many bridges, small and slippery. It's very important to not run, or you will fall into the river. I took my time.
¿Y tiene nombre esto? ¿No? Perdón que hablo inglés, es para el video. Beautiful.
It's only 9 a.m., but it looks like it's getting dark. That's because of the clouds. It looked like it was going to rain. As we got deeper into the jungle, he explained to me not to hold on to trees as I step over. Snakes could be camouflaging in them. Around an hour and a half into the hike, we finally made it to the Lost City, a Mayan ruin that you can get to only by foot, walking through the dark jungle, avoiding snakes. It was a thing of beauty, and I've always wanted to go deep into the jungle to find something like this. It was incredible.
Él se murió bañándose. Quedó sentado.
Uh-huh.
Kevin started explaining to me about another Mayan ruin about an hour and a half away from where we were. Not enough time to get there. Maybe next time.
Cuando lo descubrieron, ¿todavía tenía la cabeza?
Sí.
Por la humedad. We're on our way to see a waterfall here with my guide. We saw the ruins, which are pretty cool. So, after the waterfall, where apparently people can go in and swim, we head back to the camp. He has been a tremendous guide. The Lacandon people, again, are people that speak Mayan, and Kevin has been really amazing. So, we will continue.
On our way back to the camp, Kevin took me to the famous waterfall there where people usually go in for a swim. I didn't decide to go. It was too cold, and my feet were too damp. So I decided to just take some shots of the area, and it looked very peaceful. Maybe next time I'll climb in, but not this day. It was too cold. Kevin showed me one last tree, the type of tree where bats usually hide in during the daytime and eat the fruit. Small little mangoes, fresh for the picking.
Hello. He's not afraid.
Back at camp, I decided to take it easy, rest up, enjoy the little river by the cabin, and wait for my driver to pick me up. On my way back to Palenque, I checked in back to my hotel in Palenque that I was previously. And I finally got a good night's sleep there. I woke up the next day around 8 a.m. hoping to do laundry. The final adventure I had there was in Roberto Barrios, which is a set of little waterfalls similar to that of Agua Azul, except it doesn't have vendors trying to sell you things in the national park. It's a lot more relaxed. And Roberto Barrios is actually the name of a school teacher. And the government decided to name the waterfall area after him. So it's still really lovely. So I give to you, Roberto Barrios, Little Waterfall. Roberto Barrios Castro was a Mexican politician from Atlacomulco, State of Mexico. He was a primary education teacher in his native state of Mexico, Secretary General of the Teachers Union, and Third Secretary General of the National Peasants Confederation. Thus, they decided to name this area after him. This was the end of the line for me in Chiapas. I had one more day left, but I decided to take it off and not go to those little indigenous towns. I was really tired and wanted to take some time off before flying to Guadalajara. The next part of the adventure was to begin.
Welcome to Roberto Barrios. Definitely a lot more peaceful than Iguazu. I actually really like it.
Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed the Chiapas portion of this. Part 2, which takes place in Querétaro, is coming up. So, I hope you enjoyed Chiapas, and stay tuned for part 2, which is Querétaro. See you guys soon.